Hello, welcome to our next class in this series of 14 practices towards sustainable energy. And if you have a block, you can use a block. If you have a piece of wood, you can use a piece of wood. If you have a thick book, you can use that as well. For some of you, you won't need any props at all. So you can check out the poses where I'm offering prop assistance and decide whether that's beneficial to you and your body. But we're going to start seated, and that's when I most often use my block, is to support my hips. Sitting on the block allows me to sit up tall. To sit up tall without making my body stiff. Find your most comfortable seat, close your eyes. Not squeezing the eyelids or squeezing the lips, but letting the hands rest gently on the legs, the top lid gently touching the bottom lid, the lips gently touching. And breathe through your nose. Take an exhale out the mouth. Feel yourself relax back a little bit. No need to lean forward or to lift the chin or puff the chest out. Feel yourself settled here, and start to imagine that you're breathing into the lowest part of your lungs. As you breathe in, feel like you're pushing the breath down into the lowest parts of the lungs. And then release the breath out through the nose. Breathing in, down into the lowest part of your lungs first, letting it fill up afterwards. And notice the physical changes when you invite the breath and you focus the breath down into the bottoms of the lungs. Feeling the breath fill up from bottom to top. Feel the belly button, the belly push out as you breathe in deep. And you can even place your hands on your stomach, take a few breaths, breathing into the lowest part of your lungs and feel your belly fill out. Not using your hands, move your inner awareness to your ribs. As you breathe in, fill up into your belly. And then feel your breath move out into your hands, moving into the ribs. As you exhale, let the ribs relax. Let your navel gently draw towards your spine. Breathe in into the low lungs. Belly fills out. And then the breath moves up into your hands, up into your ribs. And exhale, the breath flows out. The ribs soften and the belly drops back. And take a few breaths like that. Filling into your belly and your ribs. As you breathe in, as you breathe out, the ribs soften, the belly drops back. And take one more. And then move your awareness or move your hands up to the space underneath your collarbone. And we'll complete this 3-part breath. Breathe into your belly. Breathe into your ribs and fill up into your chest. And as you exhale, let your chest relax, let your ribs drop, let your belly soften back. Breathe into your belly, organically into the ribs, and fully into the chest, up under the collarbones, and then exhale, let the breath go out the nose, chest, ribs, belly, soften. Fill up into your belly, your ribs, your chest. Inhaling, exhaling, let the chest relax, the ribs soften in, the belly drops back. Take a few more breaths, 3 parts of your breath, filling into each part evenly, fluidly, the breath flowing in from bottom to top and flowing out from top to bottom. 2 more breaths. Using your whole torso to breathe, start to move your arms. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. As your arms float up, exhale, chest, ribs, belly. As you release your breath, 1 more. Inhale, maybe lift your chin on this last one. Exhale, look at your thumbs as they come towards heart center. Honor your breath here. Gratitude for your breath. And go ahead and release your hands. We'll come into our yin posture of the day. Our yin posture of the day is going to be a thigh stretch. And we'll begin with the legs out in front. And then we're going to lean to the left and bring your right foot outside your hip. And for me, it's okay. I can rest with my hips on the floor, but if there's any tightness, pain in the ankle or the knee or the thigh, sit yourself upright. So lots of different expressions of the pose. You can find your best expression, whether that is staying seated upright, sitting with a little bit of discomfort here, noticing this deep thigh stretch and probably shin and top of foot stretch. You can lean back into your hands. You can lower down onto your elbows. You can lay all the way down onto the floor. Wherever you are, enter the posture without trying to max out the posture. Enter this pose feeling a stretch, but not feeling your most extreme stretch, your deepest stretch. Let it unfold over this next minute here. Your hands can be on your belly or by your sides. If you're laying down, your hands can be resting on the floor if you're seated upright. For the last moments in this pose, come back to your 3-part breath, breathing into your belly, your ribs, your chest, exhaling your chest, your ribs, and your belly. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Take 3 more breaths. extend it out in front. So if you're laying down, go as slowly as the whole time it took you to come into the pose. Let it take you to come out. Move slow. Release that right leg. Woo. Switch your sides. Most likely it will be something similar to the first side. So if you were sitting on a block, please use a block. If you stayed seated with the left heel outside the left hip, that might be best. Or you can lay down. As soon as you start to feel the left thigh, knee lifting off the floor, that's when you're at your max. So be observant of your body, not forcing depth, but going slow, encouraging your body to go slow. Hands can be on your stomach, they can be by your sides. Once you're in a comfortable posture, encourage your body to soften any parts that you feel you're tensing up. That might be in your hands, or your shoulders, or your rib cage. Might be in your right foot, or muscles in your face. Soften into stillness in your posture and focus on your breathing. Come back into 3-part breathing to the belly and ribs and chest. And your chest and your ribs and your belly. It can be challenging to maintain these postures. It can be exciting to want to move and to move forward in the practice, but important to notice your body in stillness, notice your habits, notice your body figure. And we'll take 3 more breaths. Release yourself from the pose. Go slow. No rushing. We're not going anywhere. We're staying on our mats. Release your left leg. Move your legs. Cross your ankles and come onto your hands and knees. Spread your fingers, tabletop, tuck your toes. Arch your spine, inhale. Round your spine, exhale. Take 5 rounds, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Come into tabletop. Excuse me, plank pose. Lift your knees and firm up your legs. Take a breath here. As you exhale, lift your hips for a long downward facing dog. Notice that your heels may not reach the ground, and then inhale, come into plank pose. And exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank, and we'll lower to the belly. Keep your head down and lift your legs. Firm up your legs. Squeeze your legs towards the middle line. Lower your legs and push into your hands and lift your chest a little. Try to encourage your hips to stay down. That might mean bending your elbows more. Lower down and lift your legs again. Squeeze your legs like a seesaw. Lower your legs and push into your hands. Come into cobra pose. Do that one more time. Lower down, lift your legs. Lower your legs and lift your chest. And then come back into downward facing dog. This time your legs don't have to be so far back. It can be a more comfortable range for you. The feet a little closer to your hands without shortening the pose too much. We're looking for the Goldilocks distance between hands and feet. Not too little, not too much, just right. Feel your arms long, spine long. And step your left foot forward. Come into a high lunge. Hands to your hips. Firm up your back leg. Inhale, straighten your legs. And exhale, bend the knee. 2 more times. Inhale, legs straight. Exhale, high lunge. Inhale, legs straight. And exhale, high lunge. Drop your back heel, come into warrior 2 legs. This back leg is an important part of the practice. Feel the arch of your right foot lifted, the pinky toe side of your right foot down. Look and see your left big toe and then spread your arms out. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, straighten your legs and lift your arms up. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, lift your arms. Straighten your front leg. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, warrior 2. Bring your hands down. Try to quietly step to plank pose and breathe in through your nose. Exhale, lower to your belly. Inhale, come into cobra pose, pressing into the mat as you draw your belly forward and your chest up. And exhale, come into downward facing dog. Take a breath in through your nose, filling up into your low belly, ribs, chest. Exhale out your chest and your ribs and your belly. Breathe in. And exhale, step your right foot forward. Come into a high lunge. Hands to your hips. Back leg active. If you have the benefit of seeing yourself in your practice, look at that back leg, extend it up. That might mean lifting your hips a little more. Inhale, straighten your legs. Exhale, bend the knee. Do that 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Drop your back heel. Take a warrior 2 stance with your legs. Look at your legs first. No rushing to add the arms. Look at your back foot. Look at your right big toe. Extend your arms out right over the legs. Inhale, straighten your arms. Straighten your front leg. Exhale, warrior 2. 2 more times. Follow your breath. Bring your hands down. Step to plank pose. Lower to your belly. Interlace your hands behind your back. Open your chest. Keep your legs on the ground. But press the tops of your legs down. The thighs and the tops of the feet. Look down. Relax your head. Exhale, release, and come into downward facing dog. Inhale into your belly and your ribs and your chest. And exhale, let the chest fall, the ribs, and the belly. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, step your left foot forward this time. Come up into triangle legs. Left toes facing forward, right foot more or less parallel to the back of your mat. Reach your arms out. Start to bring your left hip underneath your right hip. So you can do that again. Come into triangle legs, your nose right over your pubic bone, and then start to lean forward. As you do so, bring your left hip back underneath the right, and bring your hand down to a block, to your book, to your piece of wood, to your leg. Firm up your thighs. Feel like your right hip is active and extended down into your right foot. Your spine, your side body is long on both sides, through the middle, through the right side, through the left side. Bring your right arm up if that is comfortable. You can also shift your gaze. Come upright. Turn both toes towards the side, and then switch your sides. Turn your right toes out to the right, and look at your left foot. Extend your arms out, and as you lean forward, feel the right hip moving into the socket and pushing your left hip back. And do that again. Come to center, navel and nose and pubic bone in line, and then start to lean forward, extending the right leg long, extending it up into the socket. Push your left hip back, and then bring your right hand down to your block, to the floor, to your shin. Think about this triangle on the right side, a very important one. It's not important to get your right hand to the floor. It's important to feel triangle pose, as it's called. Firming up the legs. Feel the legs working to help find you balance. The spine extended long. The right side and the left side of your waist long. Left arm can float up towards the ceiling, right above the right arm. Breathe in. And exhale. This time we'll bring the hands down and step to plank pose. Lower to your belly. And then come up onto your elbows. Lift your right leg, extend it back a tiny bit, find more space in the hip flexor. Do the same on the left side. Shift your right hand in slightly like a kickstand and bend your left knee. Lean to the right slightly and reach your left hand back for your left foot. And then from here, it's going to be very individual for each person. So maybe you kick your foot into your hand and stretch your left shoulder. Or maybe you start to turn your fingers down and your left elbow up and press the heel towards your butt. Either way, create space on the right side. Press down through the right hand and forearm and elbow and create space between your shoulder and your ear. Take a breath in. Exhale, release. Take both hands into Sphinx pose, both hands parallel. Drop your chin to your chest and lift your hips a little bit. Release your low back. Lower the hips, and we'll do that on the other side. Bring your left hand in like a little kickstand. Lean to the left slightly. Bend the right knee. Hold your right foot with your right hand. Stay here. You can start to turn your fingers down and elbow up. Try to bring your right hip towards the mat. And imagine the left foot is extended back towards the back of your mat, but imagine the right knee also extending back towards the back of your mat. Lift your chest. Space on the left side, space between your left ear and your left shoulder. Take a breath in. And go ahead and release. Release your hands. Hands down, Sphinx pose. Lower down. Come into child's pose for a moment. Release your low back. Take a breath in and out. And then tabletop as you breathe in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take another breath in and out. And then come forward into plank pose, lower to your belly as you exhale. You can come into Salambhasana again, extending your fingers back towards your heels, lifting your legs, option 1. Or you can bend your knees and hold the outsides of your feet, hugging the knees towards each other and coming into bow pose, Dhanurasana. Squeezing the knees towards each other, kicking your feet back, opening up the whole front side of your body. Breathe. Take another breath in and release. We'll come onto our backs. Flip onto your back, hug your knees in towards your chest. As you hug your knees in, move your spine a little from side to side. Bring your feet onto the floor. Separate your feet wider than your hips, knees touching in the center, hands on your belly. Take 3 more breaths. Belly, ribs, chest. Inhale. And chest, ribs, belly as you exhale. Extend your legs straight. Take these last moments of our practice for complete rest, a restorative moment where there's no need to force anything to be tense. It's a moment for absorbing your practice, releasing onto the floor, helping to embody your practice, absorb your practice. check in with yourself here. If you have more time to dedicate to this restful posture, stop the video and set a timer for yourself. Rest here longer. If this is the time that you have allotted for your practice, it's time to move on to other things. You can begin to wake yourself up, stretching your arms and deeply breathing. Making your way to seated, any way that is comfortable, rocking up or rolling to one side. We'll meet in the middle in a seated posture, alert, erect, relaxed spine, open heart, and gratitude for our practice, for our time, for our energy, for allotting our energy to important things to us. Bow in towards yourself and honor your practice. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.